Realtors are committing crimes. Are we rolling?
Someone's like, you watch Top
We're
Gun?
rolling.
You watch Top Gun with your kids?
What's wrong with watching Top Gun with your kids?
A lot of people are really protective of their children when it comes to movies.
Have they watched what their kids are watching on YouTube?
I don't know anyone unless their kids on YouTube, so there's not many people.
YouTube Kids?
I don't even do that.
No. All right. Welcome to our makeshift studio.
This is episode 2 in the makeshift studio, isn't it? No, episode 3. Did we do 2 or 3?
I don't know. We're not keeping track. This is episode 200 and... What episode will this be, Robbie? 270? 280. Episode 280. Ooh.
Very nice. How are you doing today?
I'm excellent.
Thanks for birthday dinner yesterday.
Happy belated birthday.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
We went to... I can't remember the name of it.
Tony Spaducci's.
Yeah, but that's what I don't know many people that know it by that.
Grand Chalet.
The Grand Chalet. Tucked away, old building, off of Steeles in Milton.
Easy to drive by it. If you haven't been there, you won't see it from Steeles.
Yeah.
Their sign
There is a sign, but it's like you see it the last second because it's right after the bridge if you're heading east. So it's kind of blocked.
What bridge?
There's a little bridge there with...
Oh.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like a bridge, but it is a bridge nevertheless. Something's going under it, whether it's just a culvert or whatever.
Anyway, good Spaducci.
Excellent Spaducci. That's what they're known for, obviously.
Could be why it's called Tony Spaducci's.
Or the Grand Chalet. Anyway, so today's topic.
Yeah.
You can make the intro because it was your discussion.
Now, what level of heat do you want me to bring during this podcast? Do you want me to
keep
go
the language tamed, but you can get heated if you want.
From a very respectable 7-year-old girl to a full-blown apeshit 80-year-old man?
No, somewhere closer to the 7-year-old.
Somewhere in between?
Yeah.
Okay. The story is there's a lot of realtors out there breaking the law. There's a lot of realtors out there that are pissing me off.
Yeah. I wonder if it would be considered breaking the law.
It's breaking the law.
I know it's breaking code of ethics and yeah.
No, you're breaking into somebody's house. You are entering when you are unauthorized. The story goes. And Robbie's going to put a little clip.
And we have proof of this.
We have proof.
For those of you who are committing this crime.
Right. So if you're listening, you will want to hop on and watch the video on YouTube. Go to ktconfidential.ca. It'll take you to the playlist and watch the clips that we are going to include. And the clips clearly show this particular property of ours, a listing of ours, which was really busy with appointments. It was listed on a Thursday, ended up selling firm on Monday. It was on the market for 5 days. Lots of people through. 40 showings, probably another 10 to 15 showings at the open houses, plus all the open house attendees. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was any less than 100 people through the house in that period of time. On the weekend, there was an appointment scheduled from 11:15 to 11:45. There was a gap. There was a previous appointment scheduled a little bit earlier in the morning, and there was a gap between the two appointments. And I got a notification that somebody was at the property.
Oh, right.
And sometimes, like, this is not the first time that it has happened, which is why we wanted to talk about it today. And I'm going to try and keep it very
slow,
low key, not go 80-year-old man apeshit.
Yeah.
Appointment was for 11:15 to 11:45. the agent showed up with their clients, got the keys, and entered the property at 10:51.
Sorry, the appointment was 11:45?
Sorry, 11:15.
11:15. Remember you saying that? Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So 11:15, they entered.
They entered at 10:51.
Half an hour.
And the appointment was 11:15.
Okay. So half an hour early. More.
Half an hour early.
Yeah.
And you can see from the camera on the porch that she enters in and must have said hello and stood in the foyer for about 5 minutes because she probably heard the Sonos speakers that we have playing. And
Thought somebody was home. She thought she was busted.
Yeah. So what if somebody was home?
Right. And this was not a vacant home. This was a occupied property.
You see,
Not that it makes a difference.
I think she thought that it's vacant because the sellers actually did move out during this period. They were staying at families' homes
Right.
because they didn't want to make the bed and put away their food and do all that stuff during this process. Makes sense. Makes our jobs easier. Opens it up to showings. Also means we can auto-confirm showings. Well, oftentimes when we get an auto confirmation, it's on vacant homes.
Right.
And if you look at the photos, we basically had the home emptied out and staged it top to bottom.
Right.
So in the photos, it might look like nobody lives that nice, right? So I'm assuming that she was assuming that the property was vacant, or because it's mid-morning on a weekend, that I don't know what they were thinking. But they went into the property a half an hour early. Now, in a normal scenario where there's a showing first thing in the morning, there's a gap, and then another showing, sometimes people will just go for a walk around the block, and when the showing is done, go back in, maybe have some breakfast or get changed, have a shower, do those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that nobody was in there?
Right.
And
it's irrelevant, though.
It is irrelevant because you are not entitled to enter the property, period. Your window was 11:15 to 11:45. If you're going to be earlier than 11:15, call the realtor or... Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I'm going to explain how most showings happen these days. There's two, we'll call them showing systems, that are pretty prevalent in Ontario real estate. Should I mention the names?
It's irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
You book online.
You book online. And these online systems have an app. And in the app, you can see when your showings are scheduled, when they're confirmed.
The instructions.
So leave lights on, turn lights off, leave your card, remove your shoes, make sure doors are locked, whatever.
Don't take a dump.
Yeah, don't use the washroom. Do not let cat out. We've seen it all. Somebody's sleeping in the third bedroom. You name it. Anyways, every realtor has access to those apps. Every realtor is carrying the phone. There is no excuse to not go into your scheduled showing, click on that button to call the listing agent directly.
Well, the problem with that, and
some agents don't pick up their phone.
No, one of the complaints I've had with Broker Bay, which is one of those two companies, that's the predominant one.
I thought he wasn't mentioning any names.
Well, it was just because it was irrelevant for that topic. But
so
for
to
this
be
topic,
fair, the other
relevant.
one is called Showing Time.
Yeah. Showing Time, I don't use we don't see that one as often. But Broker Bay, agents have to click a button on their profile to have their cell phone number displayed on the app. But if you log into the desktop version from a browser, you can view it regardless. So it's really silly. So anyways, it's not that easy on your mobile phone to call their cell phone if they haven't done
from that app. But
yeah,
as a prudent realtor, you would have a copy of the listing or hop on to realtor.ca.
Yeah.
There are or Google. Like if you Google your name or my name, the first thing that'll come up in one of the first three
Well, we all
searches.
know how inconsistent that is, though.
Okay, but there's a sign on the front lawn. Call the number on the sign. Do something.
If you, at what point do you call?
You don't just walk into somebody's house when you're not expected.
I agree. At what point do you call?
It's bullshit.
At what point do you call?
What do you mean, at what point do I call?
If you're arriving early,
Okay.
when do you think is acceptable to go in without calling the agent?
If my appointment's at 11:15,
Yeah.
11:14.
Yeah. For me, it's like 2 to 3 minutes. That's reasonable.
That's
Literally 5 minutes, and I'll phone them.
you have to.
Yeah.
You are not authorized to be in that house.
I actually
Period.
just a couple days.
Stay out.
A couple days.
Go
before,
for a walk.
A couple days.
Sit in your car.
A couple days before that, we had another listing out in Mississauga, and I got a call from an agent, and he was saying, "Hey, I can't find the lockbox." And so I was, what did I say to him? Oh, I said, "Look at Broker Bay, the Broker Bay instructions. There's a photo of the lockbox, and instructions on where to find it."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I can't see the instructions." I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Oh, because my appointment ended a half hour ago." And I said, "Well, then you're not allowed."
So he's calling because he can't find the lockbox.
Yes.
The instructions disappeared.
So I didn't know that. I don't use the Broker Bay app. I just copy and paste it into my calendar.
Right.
But yeah, I guess so in the Broker Bay app,
Yes.
after your appointment,
Correct.
everything disappears.
Right.
So he wasn't
Because
able.
theoretically, you do not need it
Right.
after that.
Exactly.
After that time.
Yeah. So he informed me that, my appointment ended 30 minutes ago. I'm like, well, I can't have this conversation with you. Like, you need to reschedule the appointment. You're not allowed in there after your appointment. So he did. He rescheduled it. But people just assume they can do what they want. That one was vacant, so he knew that. So he just assumed, it's
Right.
vacant, so I can go. But maybe not. Maybe we don't want overlapping showings, or maybe there's a contractor going in at that time, and we don't want you in there. Or maybe we just don't want you in there because you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So, and there's other instances I've had people come.
There's liability issues.
Yeah. I've had people come on the wrong day. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but they'd come back for another visit.
That actually happened to me years and years ago, where I booked a showing, let's say for a Wednesday. I booked it on the Monday for the Wednesday, but it was supposed to be Tuesday. I just clicked on the wrong number, like the wrong date in the calendar.
Yeah, accidents happen.
But when I realized that, I called and tried to get it switched over. So what's reasonable? Within a couple of minutes, nobody's going to get irate.
No.
Same thing for your exit time. If your showing is 11:15 to 11:45, if you go beyond 11:46, 11:47 in the house, you better call the listing agent and say, "Hey, my clients really love this property. They would like to spend a little bit more time here. Our showing is done. Is that okay?"
Yeah, exactly.
And if not, or if you don't get a response, it doesn't mean that you can just hang out there until you get a call back.
No, you
Get
can't even
out.
hang out in the backyard. You got to get off the
Off
property.
the property.
Go to the sidewalk.
Go
the
to the
road,
sidewalk,
sit in
go to your car.
Whatever. You got to
Right.
get away from the
Go
property.
to Tim Hortons. I don't care. You are not authorized. GTFO.
That's right.
So, for all of you realtors that are listening, do better.
There was a realtor that posted something on one of the real estate Facebook groups recently, and it was a message from his client who said, "Hey, so-and-so, we just came back after the showing. There's no business card left behind, so we can only assume that the agent gave the code to their client who came directly with no representation. We need you to come and change the code to the lockbox immediately." So two things there. One, that does happen. I actually caught somebody red-handed.
Yeah, I
And
remember
we
that.
talked about that in the podcast before. And the other part is agents need to, prepare their clients accordingly. Like, let them know that not everybody's going to leave a card. I hardly leave cards anymore.
Right.
Sometimes I do.
I don't even carry
really
cards.
carry cards with me. So, and that's why we do the camera, because we know when people come, we know when they leave. Clients can come and go exactly when they come back to the house as soon as the person leaves, and we can catch people red-handed.
Yeah, it's for the safety and security and benefit of
The other
sellers.
thing that drives me crazy, which is equally as annoying, not as legally as bad, but is when people just don't show up. So that...
Oh, so interesting you should say that.
Okay, hang on. Remember what you're going to say. So going back to that same house, that same property in Mississauga, we were trying to figure out, well, where the heck did the lockbox go? I know we've had dozens of showings. There was another showing just a little bit before this showing. So I called that agent, and I'm like, hey, did you get in okay? Because we can't find the lockbox. And he said, oh, no, I decided not to go. We were too busy.
Right.
Like,
Have
where's
the
the
common
common
courtesy.
courtesy? Yeah. Let us know.
The other thing that's happening,
And just so everyone knows, we weren't incompetent. The property manager accidentally removed our lockbox, even though it was registered with the property management company. So we got it back the next day.
how did they? Oh, they had the code.
I guess so, because yes. So our realtor
You have to register it.
had
They
to
have the
register.
code.
He did it in person with this manager,
Concierge,
whomever.
whatever.
Yes, and there was about a dozen lockboxes removed.
So the other thing you realtors are doing that are pissing me off right now is you're scheduling showings, not showing up, canceling them.
After the showing.
No. Okay, maybe I am misleading you by saying not showing up. Book a showing, cancel it, and the only reason they're doing that is to get notifications of offers. Well, there are more ways than that to get notifications of offers. So what are you doing now to the seller? You're saying, oh, I'm going to show your home. Oh, no, I'm not. And the excuse is we'll reschedule, because that's one of the 3 drop-down options, right?
Yeah.
We'll reschedule. Well, then the seller is left asking their agent, their realtor,
Why'd they book? Why'd they cancel?
why'd they cancel?
Wastes everybody's
when
time.
are they coming back?
Yes.
And then when you call these realtors to ask what's up, they give you some fluff story. Like they don't even tell the truth.
Right.
Just say, oh, I was doing it because I want to be notified of
If you're
offers.
actually,
But if you want to do that, there are options. Or send me an email, send me a text. Just say, hey, my clients are really interested in this property. We'd like to be updated on offers. That legally binds me in our code of ethics to say I have to notify any interested parties
yes,
in the event an offer presentation is happening.
or if you are genuinely interested in it, like the other scenario is you may have a listing coming up that's similar, and you just want to know how the market is and where they end up with offers. Book an agent preview, put in some effort, go visit the property.
Oh man, you're going to open up a whole can of worms here.
and why?
Same property.
Yeah.
I'm watching back because we have a whole bunch of showings. We have access to the camera. I can see who's coming in and out. I think it was on the same day. I see an agent going in during the scheduled time, fine. And about 15 minutes later, I see her leaving, locking the door, gone. No clients.
Could have been like FaceTime or virtual thing. Like, but that is more common now. It doesn't happen a lot, but that is a thing. And that's probably what they'll say. Or it was, I was looking at it for myself.
Right. I'll give some of them the benefit of the doubt. But for those of you that are going to preview property, which is a great practice as a realtor, go and preview all these new listings, especially if you have clients in that market, especially if you're trying to stay up to date on market values. If you just want to stay active, go out, and I encourage all realtors to do that. Book agent previews, but don't book it as a buyer broker showing. Book it as an agent preview. book it for 15 minutes. You don't need longer than 15 minutes.
Well,
Don't tie up the house.
And for those, I don't expect our clients to leave for those either. Like,
I would.
you do? I
Yeah.
don't. For those, I wouldn't care if the person's there. I wouldn't
You
inconvenience.
don't want people saying different things to each other. Like the realtor might start asking questions and put them on the spot. No,
If you
there's no need
educate-
for
but you
anybody
can-
to be home.
You can educate
Why
them
should they
and,
be
and
home?
say,
It's still a show.
say my client or my real estate agent told me not to say anything. You have to direct
leave.
all questions
I don't
to
agree
them.
with that at all.
I do.
I
Because
think-
it's for some people, it's a huge inconvenience. People with pets, people with kids, people who work at home.
Okay, but they're still going to show the property. They still want to sell it.
Yeah, so if it's a legitimate showing,
Yeah,
inconvenience
no, even with realtors
and all, do it.
I don't think they should be in the house. You don't need anybody communicating different things, different answers. You don't, and it's awkward. It's even awkward for an agent to walk through an agent preview with the homeowner there. There's no need for it. Don't do it. So here's
If you hire me, I'll fill your mouth with words so you can stay home, and you'll know what to say.
yeah, okay, whatever. So this property was on the market for 5 days. It sold firm on offer night, sold with quite a few offers, quite a bit over asking. I'm not going to give specifics because the property hasn't closed yet. I get an email the next day. Some random realtor out in Kitchener, never heard of this person.
I think I may have been included in this.
I don't know. Saying, hey, Ariel, congratulations on your sale at 123 Main Street.
It was not 123 Main Street.
Really? How many offers did you end up with? So I go back into Broker Bay and look at all of the showings to see if I could see this person's name. No. So this is some just random realtor wanting to know how many offers were on the property. So my question to you, my question to all the realtors out there listening and all of the consumers, is he entitled to that information? Should I be divulging that information? Now, we are entitled to divulge it. It's part of one of the schedules in the agreement of sale that we can disclose that information. The seller authorized us to do so.
We are obligated to disclose it to people with offers.
Right.
But that's where it ends.
Yes. People with offers.
Yes. Registered offers.
Yes. If you have registered an offer, you will know exactly how many offers are being presented, how many offers are in hand, how many offers are still in play, whatever. But just because you showed the property doesn't mean we need to advise you of that. And certainly just because you're a realtor doesn't mean you automatically are granted access to this information. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. There are scenarios where I will inform people.
I could.
And
I could let them know.
There are scenarios where I will not inform them. Depends.
Now, some realtors will say, well, it's the unwritten rule that you're protecting your whatever brotherhood. I don't know if that's politically correct to say, but you know what I'm saying. Like you're all colleagues and helping each other and scratch my back, scratch yours, and what goes around comes around, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. What entitlement? I don't go around asking, oh, how many offers did you have? If it's known to me, if it comes to me, fine.
Well, if you really want to know, we talked about how you can
follow us
find
on
out.
Instagram. I'm sure we'll divulge it there. But
Once it closes.
Don't send me an email.
And by then, that information is not important anyways.
Don't send me an email just like if I know you, we've done a few deals together, you know, you're a local agent that we know, we've had coffee, we've gone out, I don't know, whatever. Maybe, you know, hey, and word it a little differently.
That's what it is for me.
You know, I've got a similar property. Hey, Ariel, how's it going? How's, you know, whatever. How's Adrian doing? How's the team? Haven't seen you guys in a while. I'm listing the same model, the other end of town. My clients were just wondering how many offers you got on it. It's very different than Joe Schmo emailing me saying, oh, how many offers did you get?
Yeah, very much so.
So I responded.
And what'd you say?
I said, originally, because the email said, congratulations on the sale. How many offers did you end up with? I was gonna just say, yes, thank you. And see what the response was. I said, yes, the property sold firm with multiple offers. All the best.
Yeah.
And I left it at that. I haven't heard back. So anyways, a lot of stuff that realtors need to tighten up on, need to tighten up the professionalism, need to understand that we abide by laws, rules, regulations, code of ethics, all of that. Don't shortcut. Don't think you're not doing something wrong, because you are. And certainly stop going into people's homes before your scheduled time and get the hell out when your time is up. End of rant.
And the Toronto Real Estate Board actually has in their rules and regulations or bylaws or whatever, a fine that they can give people for not showing up for showings. And I'm sure it would apply to people that show up at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I don't know if they enforce it, but anyways, you'd have to complain.
Well, in this case, I called that person, did not pick up, did not call me back. So I didn't say why I was calling.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's it.
That's what we deal with as life. Hashtag life of a realtor. There you go.
Good
Bye
talk.
for now.
Ciao.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to episode 280 of KT Confidential, the real estate podcast. I want to know, what do you guys think if a realtor showed up to your home unscheduled, unannounced? Would you be pissed? What would you do? Leave a comment. We'll see you next week.